Hi guys, Tiffany or Latida VSG here. I am coming at you with my ding 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 1 week post-op. I finally made it to the loser's mitt. Super excited. So I had surgery. Well, let me go to stats. So again, my name is Tiffany and I live in Central Mississippi. If you want to know my surgeon's name, just ask me in the comments. I'll let you know. I had a insurance requirement for a weight loss program prior to surgery, and my surgery did require 2 weeks of liquid diet. I'm not going to go into all those numbers. I'll put them in the comments, but I'll just tell you my highest ever weight was 294.6 at the start of this program. Was the highest I've ever been. Surgery day, I was 277.6, and this morning I was 267.2. So that is a 10.4 pound loss in 6 days, because actually tomorrow is my 1 week to the date. I just can't video tomorrow, so I wanted to do it today. So that is ding 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 10.4 pounds in 1 week. Fireworks, come on. Super excited. So that's really good. So that total puts me at 27.4 pounds lost. It's been a long time since I've been in the 260s. I want to say maybe 2000, maybe early 2014 I was in the 260s. So I don't know, it's just kind of weird, and you guys know how it is when you're bigger. Like, it takes a while really before you like change a clothing size, and I guess because my weight's been gradual until this past week, people really aren't noticing. My mom's did say, she was with me one day after, she was like, I can already tell you're losing weight. I saw my best friend today. She didn't really say anything about it, which is fine. My mother-in-law, I saw her yesterday and she didn't really say anything about it, and then my husband hasn't said anything. So I can see it, and it's hard to tell because I have this like propped up on the arm of my couch. You can't see it much here, and if you watch some other videos, I feel like when I stand and look in the mirror, like my shoulders from like here to here look smaller, like just across this area. Then just that place that's like right below your bra, like I guess like it's not your real waist, but like right under your bra, that area is smaller. Nothing else really. I mean, my face looks a little bit different to me when I compare it to pictures like maybe early summer when I first started this. So, but it's been so gradual because I was on the pre-op insurance required diet. So I just don't think people notices as much. But my husband is in the military. He leaves next weekend to go to drill. So, you know, so you think that's a whole nother week, and then he'll be gone about 4 days. So another week and then 4 days. And I'm thinking, because sometimes when you see people a lot, and so the people like my mother-in-law, my friend, best friend, and you know, the people that I've seen a lot more, like to them it's probably harder to notice. So just take that in mind. You know, don't get offended. Like people that I haven't seen, like when I see them, they're like, wow. So I just think that's something that we need to think about as we go through this process, that people may not notice as quickly as we would like them to, and especially if you're only losing a few pounds a week, it might, you know, we're excited because we lost 2 pounds or whatever, but you know, it might take them 3 or 4 weeks to really catch up, and especially your spouse, because they see you every day, and so they're seeing the changes, and sometimes it just takes a minute. So when you do, or I'll say when I do finally get that for my husband, it will be a wow moment for me. So I'm going to really stick to my diet. Of course, I'm still brand new. I have to anyway for safety reasons. But I'm just going to try to get my protein in, my water in, and do the amount of light walking that I'm allowed to do. And I'm hoping maybe when he comes back from drill at that point, I will be about a little over 3 weeks out. So I'm hoping maybe he notices a little more then. So, so to tell you about my surgery experience, and I may have told you before, I'm a nurse. My husband's a paramedic, and we have a lot of family in the medical field, so we're very active in the medical field. Well, I went in for surgery. They told me to be there at 7. Well, come to find out, I was his last case of the day. So I didn't even go back. They didn't even take me up to the pre-op until, I want to say it was maybe close to noon. So I was like 4 or 5 hours waiting in the lobby of the hospital, right next to the cafeteria, mind you. So they got me upstairs. Well, before that, they had done some blood work and some paperwork. They got me upstairs in the pre-op room, and the girl could not start my IV. I don't know. Well, the light's not good, but you can probably see this bruise. Like, it felt like she stuck my ball, and it hurt so bad. So then they had to do it on this hand because I just don't have good veins in my arms. Well, she missed, but the needle was like still in my hand, and so my husband being a paramedic, and he is licensed in the state of Mississippi, so he is able, to do that sort of thing. So it was nothing illegal, but so he just asked her to leave it there, and he came and he was able to get it right in the vein, and I was so glad because I don't know where they would have stuck me because that was basically the last vein they could find, and so that was stressing me out. But anyway, so they got that started. I waited in that particular room in pre-op for at least an hour, and then they took me to another room that's the holding room, which basically it's these little holding rooms right outside the surgery rooms. And so that means basically somebody's in surgery and you're going to be next. So they put me in that holding room, and it was probably an hour or a little bit longer before I went into surgery. So I guess they had, when they came in, they had put the Versed, which kind of is the first thing that kind of relaxes you and gets you knocked out. And I don't take pain medicine ever, so I'm super sensitive to stuff. So they gave me the Versed, and I remember like coming out of the room, and I remember my husband and mom were standing there, and they had to kind of move over for the stretcher to get by. And I remember saying, "Bye, I love you guys." And I remember going down the hall and saying, "Oh, I heard that I was his last case of the day." And the person that was pushing me was like, "Yeah, you sure are." And I remember wheeling into the operating room, and then I remember nothing, like nothing at all. So usually when I've had other surgeries, I at least remember like going into the room, them getting me over onto the table, and them talking to me. Like, I usually remember all the way to the point that they put the mask on your face before, the gas, before they actually intubate you. I usually remember all the way up to that point, but I'm saying they wheeled me in the room, nothing. I woke up in post-op, and I remember like opening my eyes and looking over, and then the nurse was like, "You're okay," and then I heard her, I don't know if she was saying to me or somebody else, that my blood pressure was high, and that they were giving me, I think they said hydralazine, but anyway, and I remember, opening my eyes and looking and seeing what my blood pressure was, and I don't know what it had been, but it wasn't like extremely high then. Well, the issue is I really have trouble with electronic blood pressure cuffs. Not one doctor's office, my surgeon's office, my primary care doctor, or my OBGYN, they never, ever, ever, ever can get my blood pressure. They have to take it manually. Sometimes they can get it at the small cuff on my lower arm, but sometimes not even that. Well, when we went to the hospital, even before I went to surgery, my husband moved the cuff to my lower arm, and he told them before they took me back, that her blood pressure never reads correctly, not very often at all on a manual cuff, but the best way to get it is a small, a normal size cuff on her lower arm. So they moved it up. So it was hurting, and I don't know, I think it's kind of gone now, but I had like a real bad bruise from it. Like, it really hurts my arm on the first place. So that's probably some of the reason of the high blood pressure. But it also, it just doesn't take, it never has. That's even when I was much smaller, it never has. So anyway, so here they are, and then they're thinking, well, her blood pressure is high, she must be in pain. So they gave me like morphine, Demerol, Dilaudid. They gave me a blood pressure medicine that's basically a diuretic, like all this. So anyway, they finally get me to my room, and they had IV fluids going, but I didn't have a Foley catheter in. I do know that they put them in their bypass patients, but me and another girl that had it done the same week that had the sleeve didn't have it done. Well, my thing is, that's one thing if you're like early in the morning, but I was his last case of the day. So, I mean, I was basically like, dinner time coming out of surgery. So that means that now I'm trying to come out of this medicine and I have these IV fluids going and I'm still groggy. It's the middle of the night. I'm going to be sleeping. I'm going to have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. So that was an issue. And for whatever reason, the night nurse was not good. We would call and ask, that for medicine, and like she would never come. My husband had to go down to the desk a few times, that sort of thing. As a nurse, I don't feel like they really assess me very well. So one time, my husband had been there all day, and we live right down the road from the hospital, so we have 2 small dogs at home. He was going to come and let them out and feed them, and he was going to take a shower, and then that way he didn't have to do it at the hospital and come back up there. So since they kind of, at one point, had kind of my pain under control, my nausea under control, and I finally had gotten back to that good, real sleep, not the, like, sedated sleep, but good sleep. So he told me he was going to do that, and he'll be back, and he let the nurse know, and I said, that's fine, I have my call light. So I lay there and I woke up and I needed to go to the bathroom, and and I'd only been up one time, so I pushed a call button. The lady said she'd tell my nurse. I waited and I waited, she never came. Like 10 minutes later, and I'm continuously, not only do I have to go, like I'm continuously having fluid come into me on top of already needing to go to the bathroom. And so my husband worried about me in a drugged state rolling out of the bed, and I felt very unsafe, like I was going to roll out of the bed. I had accidentally left all 4 bed rails up. So there's one beside you at the top, and then the 2 lower ones by your leg. I couldn't get it down, and so I had a day of surgery. Less than 6 hours. I'm having to slide down to the end of the bed, crawl out around the end of that, pull my oxygen off. I had to take the little pumps off my legs. I had to do that. I had to go over to the wall, unhook my IV pole, and walk myself to the bathroom. And TMI, but in the meantime, I did go in my pants a little bit and on my bed trying to get out. So, but I had to go. It was to the point that if I didn't go then, I would have been soaking wet. And then being a nurse, I'm that I can contaminate my incisions, and that's all I could think about. So it wasn't safe, but I needed to do it. I had no choice. I called, nobody came. So I go to the bathroom, and I was able, as I walked by, to grab a pair of panties and a pad that I had in my bag. And so I just had to throw it all on the floor because I couldn't do anything with it. So I was able to get the clean panties and the pad on. And about that time, the nurse comes in, and she looked at me because I was in the bathroom. I was I called that I needed help for the bathroom, and I was nobody ever came, and I said I couldn't hold it anymore. I peed in the bed. And she was just oh, well, I came in to bring your whatever it was that she came to bring that I'd asked a long time before that. And she's I didn't know you had asked or whatever. And so I got to get back in the bed. She's well, do you want to change the sheets? And I'm and I had a draw sheet on the bed. And I was let's at least take this one off. Why would you ask a patient if they want to change wet sheets? It was kind of weird. So anyway, I got back in bed, and she helped me get situated. And anyway, then all night that was it. Because of the medicine they gave me and the fluids, I was up every hour going to the bathroom. Like I said, the nursing wasn't great. Finally, at the end of the night, my husband was look, she's nauseous. I couldn't stop being nauseous. And so they finally switched the medicines. After some investigation, he figured out that they could switch some medicines around. And so we did that. I felt awesome after that. So the next morning, the other nurse comes in. And I briefly had remembered her from the day shift because they were changing shifts when I came in. And I just kind of, I don't know, something about her. But I would say, I have pain on my chest. I feel like something's sitting on my chest. And it's at the nipple line going all the way across. And she was oh, that's normal. It's just gas. And that's probably why you have it in your shoulder. And I was I don't have any pain in my shoulder. I was I don't have any gas pain. And I can tell you, I personally had no gas pain. I had no issues with gas pain. And anything I'd say, I could be I'm seeing purple spots. And she's that's normal. That's just from surgery. And I don't know, she just wasn't very caring, wasn't very kind. Still the same thing, it took forever to get meds that day. Well, the next morning, they take me to do my barium swallow test. And I was still, like I said, I'd been super nauseous. And I think because pain medicines make me nauseous, and they gave me so much pain medicine, and I had so much in my system, I think that's why I just kept being nauseous. So they took me down for my barium swallow the next morning. So at this point, I've been like 36 hours with nothing to drink. And so I take up water, swish my mouth out, spit it out, and then I have to drink the barium, like to a certain point on this glass that she marks. And I get it in there, and it was just like bubbling, and I couldn't, I just tried to keep it down, and then I couldn't, and I actually ended up throwing up 3 times in the barium study. We're finally able to get up to my room, and I called for, pain and nausea medicines, and it took them forever. Like, they didn't want to come. And then, like 45 minutes later, my husband called, and he was like, look, she needs pain and nausea medicine. We've called 45 minutes ago. And they're like, oh, okay, they're on the way. She said, oh, okay, I let them know. And then she called back, and she said, they said it'd be easier if you just tell them what you want. And my husband said, we did. She needs the Phenergan and the pain medicine. And they're like, okay, she has it in her pocket. She's heading to your room right now. Like 15 minutes later, they finally show up. And again, like, this was after me throwing up. And at this point, I hadn't had anything for pain and nausea in like 8 hours. So I was super sick at that point. So that's basically how the rest of my hospital stayed. They never encouraged me to get up and walk. They never saw me walk. I never walked in the hall. Thankfully, my husband is a medical professional. He was the best nurse I could have ever had. And I was laying in bed, and they come wheeling in here with the wheelchair, and they're like, okay, it's time to go home. I never in a million years would have sent a patient home that could not hold her head up, that I had not seen walked, and I had not really assessed. And unless I asked for medicine, they didn't even come in the room to see me. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. All in all, other than that, everything about it was great. And again, I feel like the nausea part was because I'm super, super, super sensitive to pain medication, because I just don't take it. And when I do, it makes me nauseous. And they gave me so much pain medication. And of course, then I needed it after surgery, and it's just I'm just not used to it. That's my story, so don't be scared that it's yours. But I did just want to, it's not all roses. And I think that the best thing to take here is make sure you have somebody in your hospital room with you. If you have somebody that's in the medical field, that's even better. Even if not, somebody that's going to be your advocate and help you, because having my husband there was the best thing that I could have done. And I just think that, everybody should have that. So anyway, so came on home. I threw up again that night when I got home, super sick. My husband at that point was able to get me on a good medicine schedule. We weaned off the pain medicine. I took the nausea medicine a few more times, and then I've been perfectly fine. Then I haven't taken anything since then. So my only issues since surgery, the first couple of days, it was kind of hard to drink. My throat didn't hurt, nothing about that. It's just nothing tasted good. My mouth tasted horrible. I couldn't even drink water. Now water is about the only thing I drink. I'm actually drinking a protein shake right now, good old caramel, and water, because I switched to full liquid yesterday. I do that for 2 weeks. So anyway, so that's about it. I'm having trouble sleeping. I don't know, like, I've tried to like keep myself, I thought maybe I just got off schedule sleeping during the day those first several days, but I just can't seem to sleep at night. I ended up buying some liquid Tylenol, because the pain medicine they gave me had Tylenol, and then of course a stronger medicine in it. I don't really feel like I need that, but so I've just been getting Tylenol, because some of it's just I'm not comfortable at night. But it seems like I have restless legs. They seem like it's worse now, and I just can't. I'm not sleeping. So my follow-up appointment's on Monday. So if it continues, that's something I will talk to them about it. As far as vitamins, I'm not taking them yet. Sorry, I'm almost at 20 minutes. So I'm trying to hurry. I'm not taking them yet because I haven't gotten them from my clinic. I paid for them already, but I haven't gotten them. She said I was fine to wait until my appointment, which is fine. It kind of gives me time to get used to everything. So basically I'm just sipping. I don't go back to work Monday. I took off Thursday, Friday, then we were closed on Monday, so then I took off Tuesday through Friday of this week. I know some people don't take off that long technically. I mean, I probably would have even been okay to go to work today maybe, but I am still pretty tired and just not feeling great. The only reason I say go to work today is because I work from home, so I still could have gotten up in my PJs. It's just I don't know that I could have handled the stress of the job and thought clearly and but comfortably have sat in the chair for 8 hours. So I'm just kind of working myself up to be able to do that on Monday. So yeah, I guess that's about it. I've said so much, but I really just wanted to make sure that I covered all of this in the first video, so maybe the next videos won't be so long. And again, I'm sorry it's so long, but that's it, friends. If you have any questions or comments, or if there's something about the surgery process itself or something about the first 6 days that I did not go over, if you just comment below, I'll check it, within the next 24 hours and message back, because I may have left something out that you're thinking, well, did this happen or did that happen? I'd be happy to either tell you from my experience, or there was 2 other people at my clinic that had surgery the same week that I did, and we have a little group me account that we share information back and forth, so I can tell you whether I had that experience or they did, if I didn't tell you this time. So I hope you all have a good week, and like I said, I came a little early this week, so I will come back to you. I probably will wait until next Thursday because it'll be kind of tough starting back to work. So I'll try to do it maybe on my lunch break next Thursday and just update you on my 2 week and see how it's going. I hope you guys have a great night. Bye.